This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, baby Bart gets all grown up and goes it alone. The fearless Bachelor Boys get frightened by a tree. And the Chilean Capuchins experience the outside world for the first time in their lives.
They've just taken everything in their stride. They've been amazing, and they sit in the sun and they eat the grass, they forage through the grass as if this is what they've done all their life. All their natural behaviours are so strong still, and it's like, yeah, we can do that, we can do this, bring it on.
It's a wet start to the day at Monkey World. Last night there was a big storm. And this morning, while the apes brave the rain, the primate care staff and maintenance team are dealing with the aftermath. But they have a plan.
We're always looking for new things to put in the chimp enclosures, just to try and make things a bit different for them. And luckily, a big oak tree come down, so we're actually going to take that this morning and put it in their enclosure. That actually gives them a lot of new things to do. Not only does it change up so everything's already in there, so it gives them different handholds to move around on, but they can also eat the browse on it, and you do their usual chimp thing of probably just smashing it up. So hopefully they'll have a lot of fun with it.
It's the bachelor chimps who are getting this treat today. They're used to playing with branches and logs, but this is 20 feet worth of oak tree. It calls for a forklift truck and brute force to put into place. But chimps are 6 times stronger than a man, and some of the bachelor chimps are the biggest in the park. So the team need to make sure the chimps can't use the tree as an escape route out of their enclosure.
The aim is to make it completely secure, just so they can't move it around too much. We don't want to drag it against the fence, either to short out the electric wires or to give them a platform to climb up over the overhang. So we want to make sure everything's nice and tight and safe before we give them any access to it.
The position of this new toy must be chimp-proof, and more importantly, bachelor chimp-proof. Later, the bachelor chimps might look large and powerful, but they seem scared and confused by the new toy that's appeared in their home. And chimp youngsters Ben and Pip rely on a new friend to help them brave the outside world.
Arthur was really a positive influence today. He was very encouraging towards Ben and Pip. He kept popping back to the playroom and checking on them and trying to encourage them outside.
This morning, it's also a busy start for the 94 Capuchin monkeys. At the moment, all the girls live together on one side of the park and the boys on the other. And just when they all seem settled with their living arrangements, it's all change. The girls are swapping homes with the boys.
There we go. 57 females down here, 11 to go, and then on to the boys.
Most of the Capuchins were rescued from a life of solitary confinement in a laboratory. But here at the park, they've been integrated into 2 groups. At first, it was thought that the boys would find it harder to settle into group life, so they were given the bigger house. But it's actually the girls who've been more troublesome.
Is that we've had a couple of incidents up in the lodge, and there's 68 female Capuchins, you know, and it's a big group, and it was decided, you know, we would like to give the females a lot more space. So we've got a bit of a conveyor belt going today. We've got 3 teams getting them from A to B for us.
The team want to ensure the Capuchins spend the rest of their lives being as happy as possible. And although this move is a mighty task for the park, it'll be worth it for the Capuchins.
The final one.
And that's it then.
Everybody's in, everyone's safe.
94 Capuchins moved in one day.
Went very well, very smoothly.
What a day.
Not bad teamwork all round. I think we're going to be feeling it for a bit, but he's the final lad. There you go, mate.
But the male-female swap is not quite as simple as it seems. One of the park's original Capuchin boys, TJ, is currently homeless.
Ready ready when you are. Yeah.
A few days ago, he was introduced to all the other male Capuchins, but it didn't go well. The team were worried he was going to start a fight, so he had to be removed.
He's used to being like #1 in his group, very spoilt young male. So to suddenly have like 27 other males to deal with, he wasn't really coping and he was just lashing out.
The team has made the radical decision to let TJ live with the 68 girls. He'll be the only boy in the group, and while this may sound appealing to some, he'll most definitely have his work cut out.
The girls do a lot of politics, and they could like use him and abuse him. So it is actually, he's got quite a hard job, I think, controlling those females and not causing any trouble, not having too many biases, because that will only upset his other girls. Yeah, he's going to have to use his brain cells to be able to cope with all those girls.
Back with the Bachelor Chimps, Jimmy is the first to spy the new addition to their enclosure. His hooting alerts the other boys. There's a strange tree in their midst. And for once, the other chimps seem strangely quiet and confused. They might look big and tough, but these boys are complete scaredy cats whenever something new appears in their home. And after all, the tree's very big. Jimmy's hoping it might just go away. But Butch is the alpha male. This is his domain, so he tries to show the tree who's boss. Unfortunately for Butch, it might just be the tree who's boss. And there's something else that's bothering the boys. The oak is lying exactly where their breakfast is usually scattered. There's definitely something weird going on. A big tree and no breakfast. The boys are going to have to think very hard about this. Unfortunately, thinking isn't one of the things the Bachelor Boys do best. In the wild, when fruit is scarce, the chimps also strip the leaves and bark off trees as another good food source. And back at the park, because they can't yet find their usual breakfast, the boys have finally toughened up and decided to get stuck into the tree. And now they're eating, they should be happy. But no, it's raining, and they're all getting wet. But if it's a choice between eating or keeping dry, the Bachelor Boys will always choose eating. And when at last they twig that they can use the tree to keep themselves dry while they eat, they finally find that mysterious, hidden breakfast. Over at Hananya's house, it's been a few weeks since youngsters Ben and Pip moved in from the chimp nursery. They've been introduced to quite a few of their new family, and now it's time for their next step, the big outdoors. Ben and Pip are both really nervous, so they won't be going out alone. A few friends will join them, and one in particular should make them feel much more relaxed.
We've picked Arthur because we wanted a boy out there, and actually he's got quite a good relationship with Ben. They've been playing a lot, and so hopefully that will give Ben the confidence. And then Valerie and Marjolaine really have been good animals since day one. They were introduced very early on. They've been in and out of the introduction group, and they're very confident animals, they're very playful animals, so hopefully again they'll encourage Ben and Pip to come outside and to have the confidence to come outside.
Ben and Pip were born at the park and were hand-reared by the primate care staff. And since they were toddlers, they've never been confident when it comes to the outdoors. In fact, they didn't venture out in the nursery until they were 5 years old. And today, it seems history is going to repeat itself. The 6-year-olds are feeling far from brave. This outside space is much bigger than they're used to. And even Arthur, sitting by the door trying to coax them out, isn't working. But if Ben and Pip's best friend has anything to do with it, he'll make sure that the pair come out to play soon.
were so pleased with Arthur, really, because he was very encouraging towards Ben and Pip. He kept popping back to the playroom and checking on them and trying to encourage them outside. Arthur was really a positive influence today, and hopefully he will stay in that introduction group now and continue to encourage Ben and Pip until they feel they're ready to come outside.
At Monkey World, in Paddy's group, it's lunchtime. On the menu today are tasty chopped up vegetables scattered throughout the enclosure. This allows the troop of 20 to forage in the same way as they would in the wild. And it's a great learning experience for the baby of the group, Bart. Mum Susie is teaching him what to eat and where to find it. At 16 months old, he's still clinging to her chest at all times. But this afternoon, for the very first time outside, he's keen to strike out on his own and let go of his mum. And with toddler-like curiosity, Bart's quick to copy his mum and starts to enjoy eating al fresco. In the wild, chimp infants learn all they need to know about adult life by watching and copying those around them. But it may be some time before Bart can match his dad's huge appetite. Paddy, as alpha male, takes advantage of his position and has grabbed as much as he can. So, before Bart's eyes get bigger than his belly, Susie steps in. And, like all good mums, she knows when he's eaten enough for one day. Back with the female Capuchins, they're settling in well after swapping homes with the boys this morning. And the staff are confident they're ready for their next challenge. Since the Capuchins arrived, the park's maintenance team have been busy preparing their outside enclosures. For some of the Capuchins, it'll be the first time they've ever stepped foot outside, and for others, the largest space they will have ever seen. Now complete, it's time for the girls to go outside. But nobody quite knows how they will react when the slide is opened. A quick scan of the enormous area, and one of the girls makes her move. A few brave steps in the outside world is enough for now, and she heads back in to tell the others. And it's not long before they're all checking out their new surroundings. Some of these Capuchins had been kept in small cages at the research lab for nearly 20 years. But despite this, they embrace their newfound freedom and are soon off exploring. And this is the final step in their rehabilitation.
Sometimes you forget what they've been through, and every now and again you'll see one that still does the stereotypic pacing or the biting or the head spinning, or if you do something a little odd, some of them will just suddenly start to spin, it just clicks. But then it goes away again, and then you'll see them out in the sun lying there with their friend grooming them. They've just taken everything in their stride. They've been amazing, and they sit in the sun and they eat the grass, they forage through the grass as if this is what they've done all their life. It's like, yeah, no, we know what to do. All their innate behaviours, all their natural behaviours are so strong still, and it's like, yeah, we can do that, we can do this, bring it on. So it's quite special.
For the care staff, it's a massive success. But now the monkeys are out, will they ever want to come in again? Later, the Capuchin girls know each other, but can the staff identify each of these 88 monkeys?
That's... oh, no, that's Kelly.
I haven't seen Letitia. Is she in this group, or did she go back to Debbie's group?
At Hananya's chimp troop, the newest residents, Ben and Pip, have finally plucked up the courage to venture outside too. They've had access to their enclosure all day, but it's only now that curiosity has got the better of them. They've decided to brave it and explore their new home. But they're sticking close together just in case. When Pip's nerves get the better of her, she clings onto anything she can for reassurance. Blankets, wood wool, more blankets, even her brother. But Ben is suddenly feeling brave. He wants to get out there and explore. So it's down to good old Arthur to offer Pip some reassurance. Ben, though, might be regretting his decision when Cookie doesn't exactly give him the warmest of welcomes and chases him across the enclosure. Straight into Pip's arms for a much-needed cuddle. That's definitely enough new experiences for one day. This pair is heading indoors for some rest and relaxation. In the female Capuchin enclosure, there are some interesting developments. With all this extra room they've now got outside and inside, something strange has happened. The Capuchins have divided themselves up according to their fur colour.
The most amazing thing was within 24 hours, we had a natural split. You went in and in one playroom was all the dark ladies, and in the other playroom was all the brown ladies. It was a bit of a balance. It was like 20 over here and 60-odd over here. But it was so strange, and if one of the brown ladies would try and cross over to the black playroom, they were all territorial and they'd push her out. And the black ladies would come out of their playroom and into the back bedrooms, and all the brown ones would run scared. Decided, OK, this is our natural split. We have and it's their split, which is the best thing. It's what they've decided, and it's quite special that they've actually done it on the species level. So the black species ones are in the right-hand playroom, and all the brown ones are in the left-hand playroom.
The natural split has helped reduce the tension between the ladies, but the group's youngsters can't decide which group they'd rather be in.
But what we found is all the juveniles, all the 4 or 5-year-olds, they're quite tough and playful, and they've all gone on the dark side, and they're very, very happy over there. So over the last few days, we've been allowing individuals to kind of choose. Are you comfortable this way? Are you comfortable that way? And you do see very quickly if they're happy or not.
At Monkey World, the primate care staff know each individual ape and monkey. But getting to know each and every one of the 88 Capuchins was always going to be a challenge.
I get confused on the little ones the most.
Yeah, I still get confused. And the Lionel, Leonie, Pride. There's about 4 in this group and 4 or 5 in the other group, and they're so similar looking that you do have to double check.
In the lab, very few had names, but they were easily identified by a numbered tattoo on their stomach or inner thigh.
So this is 20 and 1, 2, 6.
But here at Monkey World, this method is causing problems.
They're fluffy. We keep looking to try and see the tattoos, but we can't see them very clearly on a lot of the girls, especially some of the older ladies who are very fluffy and big. But literally on day 1, I felt the need to give them names because I can't remember numbers. Numbers were just flying through my head. And also, it's more personal. You kind of need to give them names.
There's Kate, Becky and Tallulah that are similar, but Tallulah's the one with the short tail. And I think we just were desperate to call a female Capuchin Tallulah.
Some of the Capuchins had distinctive looks, so they could easily be named.
Lots of names at the start came very, very quickly, and some of them stuck, like Amy, who has huge, big black hair after Amy Winehouse. We had Jane, G.I. Jane, with a short crew cut. We had Sooty, who has black little nostrils as if she's been running around in the soot.
But for the other girls, they had to rely on other ways to distinguish them.
Like we had one individual called Philippa, who's got quite a narrow face with eyes quite close together.
The problem was there were 3 Capuchins who looked identical, so they were all accidentally given the same name of Philippa.
And it just took time and time until suddenly something clicks. And now we know that Philippa and the second Philippa is now Tia. Tia is slightly bigger, and she has a larger head at the top. It's actually their personality and their behaviours that used to help us distinguish, even though they looked exactly the same.
The 22 boys were named quickly, but the 68 females have taken a lot longer.
It's taken us literally 2 months So we give them names and have names that we can remember and we're happy to ID. And actually, every time we go down to the house, we just test each other to make sure that who I think's Molly, so everyone else thinks Molly. But the boys was much, much easier, just because there was so few of them in comparison, and there isn't that many mirror images. Like in the girls, we've got 3 who look like Oyster, we've got 2 who look like Katie, we've got 3 Philippas, we've got 4 Pirates, who all look the same. It was much harder than we thought.
And even though everyone has had their new names for a while, there's still confusion about who is who.
That's... oh, no, that's Kelly. That's Pippa.
Next time on Monkey Life, there's a morning sing-off at the park. Golden-cheeked Gibbon Zoey introduces a very rare new addition to her family.
You can just see Zoey sitting in there very quietly, a very small blonde lump clinging onto her belly. She's had a little baby, and we're just over the moon.
And Capuchin Phoebe needs surgery. There was tension amongst the females and a fight broke out.
It's just part of the process of them knowing how to interact with each other, establishing the hierarchy, and yeah, unfortunately, it happens.
This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, there's a morning sing-off at the park. Golden-cheeked Gibbon Zoey introduces a very rare new addition to her family.
You can just see Zoey sitting in there very quietly with a very small blonde lump clinging onto her belly. She's had a little baby, and we're just over the moon.
And, following a fight amongst the female Capuchins, Phoebe needs surgery.
It's just part of the process of them knowing how to interact with each other, establishing the hierarchy, and yeah, unfortunately, it happens.
It's morning at Monkey World, and most of the 246 residents are just waking up. This is the time when the first of the park's primates start to communicate with one another. And the gibbons start to sing. There are 5 different species of gibbon living here, and every morning they start the day by singing to claim their territory. High up in the tree canopy are Siamang gibbons Sam, Sage, and their son, Onion. Siamang gibbons have a throat sac, which they can inflate to about the size of their head. This sac makes their calls so loud they can carry for over a mile. And it's certainly loud enough to wake some of the sleepier inhabitants of the park. These early morning sing-alongs reinforce the bond between mum and dad, and tells other groups of gibbons how many there are in the family, the sexes and ages. But here at the park, their message is simple. This is our territory, keep out. And at this volume, this early in the morning, it looks like the rest of the primates are getting the message. But over in the Gibbon house, golden-cheeked gibbons Jake and Zoey have another reason to shout. Early this morning, Zoey gave birth.
I got a phone call from Jeremy saying, "You better come in, Wendy. She's had it." And I said, "Sorry?" Zoey. So up in the basket, if you can just see Zoey sitting in there very quietly, very calmly and very tired with a very small blonde lump clinging onto her belly. She's had a little baby and we're just over the moon.
In the wild, golden-cheeked gibbons are now classified as endangered. And with gibbon births incredibly rare in captivity, this is a real success for the park and the species.
This is our second birth here. We don't mind if it's a boy or a girl or whatever. It's a golden-cheeked baby gibbon, and it's another life, and it's wonderful.
But while the baby is holding on tightly to mum, it'll be some time before the care staff will be able to see if it's a boy or a girl.
Actually very difficult for us at any early stage to get a good enough look to see whether it's male or female. So that will come with time, which of course means the name will come with time as well. You can't name it Bob and turn out to be a girl.
Although Wendy is keen to find out the sex of the baby, what's more crucial is whether Zoey will accept it and bring it up herself. Zoey was poached from her own mother and family in the wild and knows very little about parenting.
The most important thing that we need to know is that Zoe's actually looking after her baby. I'd like her to be more attentive. You know, if he starts to sort of lean backwards, I'd like to see that hand come in quicker. But she's getting there, so that's a good thing. But also I want to see the baby suckle. That's the most important thing of all, is see that baby latched onto the nipple and the little cheek sucking away. But more important than that, we need to see a swallow action, so we know that milk's going into little one.
Wendy will have to watch and wait to see if she needs to step in and help Zoey bring up this valuable new addition to the park. Coming up, the chimps show that no matter what time it is, they've always got something to say.
Even though the chimpanzee's primary sense is vision, they do rely upon vocal communication quite a bit. Can tell sort of what's going on from a distance.
And Phoebe's undergoing surgery following a Capuchin fight.
The wound looks fairly deep. It's a bite wound, and bite wounds are always contaminated and likely to cause infection.
The gibbons might start off being the loudest primates in the park, but by mid-morning, it's the chimps who make the most noise. And every sound they make has a meaning. From excitement to fear and every emotion in between. They just never seem to stop talking.
With the chimpanzees, they do have a language of their own. They do rely upon vocal communication quite a bit. You can hear whether people are upset and throwing tantrums. We can tell if actually there's something alarming in the enclosure and we need to go have a look. You can also tell if there's a full-on punch up and fight and something's going down because the intent of the voice. You can tell sort of what's going on from a distance. That's not the case with all of our primates here.
Over on the other side of the park, even though it's snack time and the orangs are always excited about food, you'd never know it because they just don't vocalize their enthusiasm.
The orangutans, even though they are great apes and are meant to be sort of more similar to humans and chimpanzees than other species of primate, the orangutans, their communication is just completely different. In fact, they're almost silent. In the wild, they're semi-solitary. There isn't this complex sort of interaction and group sort of dynamics going on with the orangutan, so there's really no need to communicate like that.
In the wild, when male orangs do vocalize, it's known as a long call. And there are only 2 occasions when this happens.
He can use the throat sac and inflate it, almost like the Siamang gibbons, and then project this long call, letting other males know that that's their territory, and also alerting the females that the male's in town.
But here at the park, males Tuan and Gordon don't use this call because they live separately. And they don't need to call for females because they've got them right beside them. So there's really no point in making a lot of noise. Or any noise at all, really.
Day to day, orangutans really don't communicate a whole lot, and there isn't a lot going on there. It's probably more eye lifts and facial expressions. With the chimpanzees, we're loud and out there and talking all of the time.
Over with the Capuchin boys, and the latest recruit, Caesar, is enjoying his new home. He's settling in perfectly. A few weeks ago, Alison and Jeremy rehomed Caesar and female Phoebe from a home in Hertfordshire. Caesar's made new friends in his group, and today he's hanging out with Felipe. But Phoebe's move hasn't gone as smoothly. This morning she suffered a nasty bite wound to her leg. And park vet Femke has had to put her under anaesthetic to assess the damage. It's a large wound and needs immediate treatment.
We'll check her whole body to see if she's got any other wounds, and also check her body condition, her heart, her lungs, give her a general health check.
With 94 Capuchins living together at Monkey World, there are bound to be character clashes, and fights are inevitable. Phoebe's injury is probably a result of her struggling to find her place in the group. Bite wounds can penetrate tendons and muscles, and there's a risk of infection which could result in serious complications for Phoebe.
The wound looks fairly deep, but as far as I can see right now, she hasn't damaged any tendons, only some muscle damage and the skin, obviously. But yeah, there will be some scarring in the muscle. It's part of the process of them knowing how to interact with each other, establishing the hierarchy, and yeah, unfortunately, it happens. But we do what we can to prevent it and to heal them as good as we can. Probably an incisive.
To ensure the wound heals as quickly as possible, Femke sets about carefully cleaning the cut. And Jeremy gives her an antibiotic jab to prevent further infection.
Because it's a bite wound, and bite wounds are always contaminated and likely to cause infection, so they'll need some antibiotics to help their immune system to get over them.
But the team has to work quickly. Keeping small monkeys under anaesthetic for long periods of time can be dangerous. So Femke gets straight down to stitching up the wound. In Monkey World's vet room, Capuchin Phoebe has been in surgery for over an hour, having a bite wound on her leg stitched up. The operation is nearly over. Vet Femke is just making sure her stitches stay in place.
I'm going to put some super glue on it as well, because monkeys sometimes take their stitches out. And you can't really bandage them either, because they will take the bandage out.
Ordinary super glue is a safe and effective way of binding stitches. And while the team wait for the glue to dry, Jeremy takes the opportunity to insert an identification microchip.
Got so many Capuchins now that the keepers have trouble sometimes telling them apart. So at least when they have a microchip, when they are anaesthetized, we can make sure which individual it is.
This is the first time the team has had a chance to give Phoebe a thorough health check since she arrived at the park. And Femke has suddenly discovered something wrong with her teeth.
Look at this one, Jeremy.
Long operations on small monkeys can be a risky business.
Shall I remove it now, or shall I leave it? Her canine is badly damaged and infected, so I have to remove it.
Femke decides to take the tooth out now, rather than operating again at a later date. Like all wild animals, the primates are very good at hiding any discomfort. But it looks like Phoebe may have been suffering with this rotten tooth for a long time.
She must have had a bit of pain from this, indeed.
Quite often, tooth decay can be a result of a poor sugary diet. But in this case, Femke suspects there could be another cause.
Yeah, sometimes they knock their tooth and they break it. And then if the root is exposed, it can become infected and cause a nasty tooth infection. It's so badly damaged that it's quite easy to take it out. Because if you take a healthy canine out, it's quite difficult, will take you a long time. But if it's damaged and rotten, then it'll come out easily, as you can see.
The tooth has been removed and Femke is happy that the rest are all healthy. Now it's time for Phoebe to wake up.
Hello, do you think you're going to sleep this out? You can't.
But she's been under anaesthetic for longer than expected and she's not coming round.
Take your time. Phoebe, it's time now. Good one. Oh, Phoebe.
Eventually, to everyone's relief, she wakes up.
When she's fully awake and able to climb and eat and defend herself, she'll go back in with the others. Because we don't want to take her out too long. Because she has to meet them again and make friends and be part of the establishing of the hierarchy.
So, animal manager Jeremy returns Phoebe back to the bedrooms, where soon she can have another bash at finding her place in the group. Later, in the chimp nursery, Lulu has fun with the youngsters. And keeper Wendy checks to see if new mum Zoe's getting into the swing of being a parent.
She's a little bit awkward with her movement still. She doesn't quite know where to put knees and elbows and feet and stuff.
It's lunchtime, and in Hananya's chimp group, they're getting hot potatoes. Treats like these are a real favourite, so to make sure that everyone gets their fair share, the keepers scatter them throughout the enclosure. But this doesn't always work. There's a strict hierarchy in chimp society, and it's not long before those at the top get the most. And those at the bottom need to work hard to get any at all. And it's pretty obvious from his haul that alpha male Hananya is right at the top. It's just a shame he's only got 2 hands and 1 mouth. Not long ago, Hananya was hesitant at mealtimes and would often end up with nothing. His group would pinch the goodies from right under the boss's nose. But at last, Hananya is asserting his position at the top of the group. And he's determined to finish this lot quickly so he can go in for seconds. Hot spuds are a really good meal for the chimps as the weather grows colder. But not everyone has been lucky enough to get one, so some loiter with intent, hoping someone might share. But sharing isn't something the chimps do very well. And now Hananya's ready for seconds, he's going to have to beg with the rest of them. And high-ranking Cherry's potato looks good. It looks really good. Really, really good. Clearly too good to share with Hananya, who is reduced to foraging for leftovers with everyone else. It's a shame he hasn't realised that the only reason there aren't any left is because he ate most of them in the first place. Back over at the Gibbon house, it's been 12 hours since Zoey, the golden-cheeked Gibbon, gave birth. And she's just decided to venture outside with her new baby for the very first time.
Zoe's doing extremely well, very happy with her. She's a little bit awkward with her movement still. She doesn't quite know where to put knees and elbows and feet and stuff, but she's doing very, very well. Little one's been suckling, seen it on the nipple 3 times, so he's doing... I keep calling it he, we don't know yet. Stop it, it. The little bit is doing really, really well.
This is only the second golden-cheeked gibbon to be born at the park, so Wendy's keeping a close eye on the new parents.
It's difficult to tell whether she's overly protective or hiding the little one. She always used to sit with her arms on her elbows and sort of this grumpy look that Zoey has, that she's famous for. It's quite a good thing. It's keeping baby warm, especially when she's outside. It's a lovely day, but it's a bit blowy. You've only just come out of the womb. It's going to feel a bit nippy. But she's looking after it very well. She's just got to learn how to move with him now. A little unsteady, but very attentive when the baby cries or whatever. She's, oh yes, okay, tends to it. What do I do? I'll sit down, I'm not moving. Something she'll get used to with time.
It's still early days, but Zoey seems to be showing all the signs of becoming a good mother. Over at the chimp nursery, for the first time in a very long time, foster mum Sally is relaxing. With only 3 toddlers to look after, she's never had it so easy. At one time, the nursery was the busiest, loudest and most chaotic place in the park, with a tired Sally looking after all the youngsters. And her second-in-command, Lulu, being teased and harassed by Seamus and his gang, which made Lulu very grumpy. But now its rowdier members have grown up and moved out. And the atmosphere today is completely different. It's given 2.5-year-old Rodders an opportunity to prove that Lulu has a fun side too. Lulu's only got 1 arm, which doesn't stop her behaving and playing like a normal chimp. But even though things are much calmer now, she still has her grumpy moments. But it seems that Rodders' charms are finally winning her over. And who can blame her? In fact, it looks like she's got quite a soft spot for the little lad. And even though Lulu is 13 years older than Rodders, she shows him she can certainly play with the best of them. Next time on Monkey Life.
Hey, little man.
Woolly monkey Paolo goes in with his new family for the first time.
He's ready to go. He's eating solid food. Look at the size of the belly hanging out there. It's, you know, it's just enormous.
Chimp Eddie has fun and games with her baby brother Bart. And emotions run high when Mad Max the marmoset arrives at the park.
But that's what I'm saying to you.
I don't want to fall out with it. I'm only here for him. You know what I'm saying?